I'm glad you're here. Today's a builder's episode. No hype, no magic words, just what it takes to ship, search, and retrieval that real apps can trust. You hear me say context engineering a lot, but that's not a buzzword. That's a promise to put the right 20 things in the window and leave the other 9,980 outside. We'll go from first principles to production habits, and if I do this right, you'll walk away with a mental model that's calm, repeatable, and unfairly effective. So a few years back, I noticed something funny. Demos felt like wizardry, production felt like alchemy, and that broke on Tuesdays. Most of the pain wasn't models, it was everything around them: storage, latency, relevance, and the uncanny human step where something still had to judge. Is this actually useful? So I cared about one thing: turn retrieval into an engineering discipline. Not a slide, a discipline. That's where the story is going to sort of begin. So, information retrieval versus search. So classic search assumed a human did the last mile, open 10 tabs, skim, synthesize. Modern retrieval assumes a model does the last mile, ingest far more than humans can, then they can reason. So the primitives change. Instead of only lexical matches, we mix structure, embeddings, metadata, and re-ranking. Instead of best 10 links, we curate best 20 chunks for this exact step. That's a different product, a different API, and a different standard of truth. So we're going to stay focused, noisy AI market with this. So if you optimize for headlines, you'll ship a slot machine. If you optimize for craft, you'll ship a compass. Focus isn't a mood, it's a filter. So we choose one thing and did it at a world-class level before touching the second thing. So that's not slow, that's fast, that actually lasts. So building cloud the right way. You're gonna have zero knobs, so it's not a slogan. It's empathy disguised as architecture. So separate storage and compute. So usage billing that doesn't punish bursts, and a developer experience that starts with pip install, and never ask if you pick a shard strategy on day one. So tools should feel like you already know, basically. So context engineering and the RAG trap mashed together 3 ideas and confused half the industry. So decompose it. Retrieval is the craft, augmentation is the discipline, generation is the instrument. Context engineering is the job of deciding what earns a seat in the window, when and why, then proving you've improved that. So the thing about that also is like context rot. So bigger windows aren't infinite attention. As tokens grow, usable attention often shrinks. So more text is not more signal. The fix is not stuff more, it's select better. Treat the window like beachfront properties. You're going to prioritize context quality. So you're going to curate in 2 stages. First stage, broad, cheap call down with vectors, text and filters, 10K to 300. Then the second stage is going to be like LM re-ranker or a tiny re-rank model, so 300 to 30. When in doubt, you're just going to measure. A tiny golden set beats a giant vibe. So the code indexing and retrieval strategies. Indexing trades write time for retime. So for code, that's a great deal. Combine regex, AST, file name, heuristics, and embeddings for the weird queries humans write under pressure. Version the index so every comment is searchable at its truth. So the chunk rewriting and query optimization for the code is don't just embed code, explain it. Generate a natural language synopsis per chunk. Keep function signatures, link call sites. You're compressing ideas, not bytes. So on the query side, synthesize multi-pro queries, lexical, cinematic, and structural. So it's astonishing what that's going to unlock. So the transformer evolution and retrieval systems are going to be something where we accidentally spit the old encoder for decoder for generation. The future likely stays in latent space longer and then retrieves continuously instead of once. In the pages for knowledge, like GPU pages, it's going to have the memory. So today we'll look caveman in 5 years, and that's fine. We're going to build the spine for all of this in today's standards, like right now. So memory is going to be a benefit of context engineering. So memory is going to sound magical. So under the hood, though, it's discipline retrieval plus feedback. What you choose to remember and how you compress it is product quality. Now, structuring memory and offline compaction is going to deal with sleep cycles that are just batch jobs with feelings. So nightly compaction merges duplicate, rewrites fuzzy notes, and promotes the pattern that users actually rewarded. So pre-compute likely answers where latency matters. So your future self will say, thank you. So lessons from previous startups is that only build what you'd proudly maintain, only sell to people you'd proudly support, only hire teammates you proudly follow, and slower hiring, faster trust. And that's the multiplier. So every team carries a quiet theology about what matters. Mine is simple. Build things that make thoughtful work easier and more common. Taste is not elitism. It's care made legible. So cultural design and brand. How you do one thing is how you do everything. The office, the docs, the air estate, same voice, same care. Consistency is a feature users can feel before they can name. So if you love distributed systems, accessibilities, and aesthetics in equal measure, then if you were with me, you'd get along. So bring your craft and your curiosity, and then the team should supply impact and unreasonable standards, and that's going to be a deal there. So if you remember one line, remember this. Context is a product surface. So treat it with taste, measure it with data, and your users will feel the difference before they read the release notes. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. This is Marwan with AI App Masters. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and join our school community if you want to get some downloads. All right. Take it easy.